Well, it's on to step 3 of that pre-season tune-up. I've done grip, I've done grip pressure, and now we're on to posture. How's your posture? Well, if you haven't played a lot of golf lately, it's probably a little suspect. How do we know how to get it right? I'm going to show you an exercise to get there, but first I'm going to tell you the 5 elements of a good posture. Here's what they are. Number 1 is a nice bow from your hips. We don't bow from our waist. Our waist is more up here. That would be a rounding of the spine. We simply bow from our hips. Number 2, our arms should simply be hanging down. Number 3, our knees should be lightly flexed. I'm not going to talk about deep knee bends. I see too many people do this. The reality is golf is not a knee joint sport. It is more of a hip joint sport. We're trying to rotate. We're not trying to move laterally. The deeper you get into your knees, the more lateral motion you're allowed to do, the easier it is for your body to move that way. So if I've done those 3 things properly, what happens is I'm lively on my feet. I shouldn't look like I'm back in my heels, and I certainly shouldn't be so far forward that I feel like my toes are digging in. I should feel like I can tap my heels, not my toes, but only slightly. The last piece, that's only 4 now. I've bowed, I've let my arms hang, I've flexed my knees, and I've got my weight in the right position. The last one is tilt. And when I talk about tilt, it's spinal tilt. Your spine should tilt slightly to the right. Well, how do I get there and why? The tilt is simple. Most people, when we address the golf club, address the golf ball, have our left hand above our right. Most of us are right-handed golfers. Well, if my left hand's above my right, that means my left arm is necessarily, and by the way, it's the arm most of us try to keep straighter, it would raise this shoulder up. That's uncomfortable to most players. So what do I see people do? Try to counterbalance. Gee, I wonder what that might do to my golf swing. I really don't want to look like that in the golf swing. When I watch good players and when I look at the numbers that our K-Vest shows me, most good players have a slight tilt this way in their pelvis. In other words, their left hip's a little higher than their right, their left knee's a little higher than their right, their left shoulder's a little higher than their right, and in the shoulder's case, it's 7 to 12 degrees, depending on what club you're in. And when we have that, in order to make all that happen, we have to tilt our spine slightly to the right. This is a marvelous thing to do. Most players swing a little bit out to in. When you set up this way, we actually give you more room to swing in to out, the golf swing that most players really want. Remember, it's pretty simple. It's a bow from the hips, a flex of the knees, your arms hanging down, your weight to the balls of your feet or favoring the balls of your feet slightly, and lastly, a little tilt in your spine to the right. Now, I've said this all for right-handed golfers. Remember, lefties, that tilt will be the opposite way. Take some time, get in front of a mirror, practice this a little bit. I know it's going to help you.